So my vehicle is a 2020 TRD Offroad, and as you can see, it does not come with the forward bulkhead bed rail, which I think and a lot of other people think should be included, but it doesn't come in there. I've already removed the screws and getting it ready to mount the bed rail. So what I've done first, instead of installing the rail onto the bed of the truck, I pieced together the carrier first and pre-staged these so that way, instead of finagling with it being on the rail and these actually sliding or moving backwards into the rail, and it's kind of hard to get these on, I put them on here, mounted them all on here first, take the rail and put these put in there first. So that way it's already in place. And the mounting holes onto the forward bulkhead, you can still access the holes, right? So if you're having a hard time mounting this one, you're gonna have somebody help you put these in here, slide this across, mount these holes. Then once it's up on the bulkhead, then you can center it as needed, and then tighten down the bolts depending on the height that you want. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm using these punches to hold this rail in place. And I'm doing this by myself, so it might be a little bit challenging. Take out this punch, feed it through the hole, kind of hold it in place, and do the same thing on the other side. Easier if I had somebody to help me, but I'm impatient and I want to get this done. Now, take one of the screws to hold it. We'll go on this side first. Won't tighten it down all the way yet. It's easier if you feed the first part in through with your hand, with your fingers. Let's feed this through by hand first. Now that I have all the screws on, I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. All right. Now I got the rail tightened down. I can go ahead and use the center of the window as a guide, or these two holes I can use as a guide to center it up. get it in the center, because that's where I want to put. I want to have the tire here. Give that a try and see if I don't like it. Maybe move it to this side, but I kind of like the idea of it being centered on the bed and right in the middle. I did pre-measure the tires. The tire's about 15.5 to the center of the hub. So this is adjustable. You can use whatever height that you need. So I'm looking for 15.5. Looks like right at 16, and that's the lowest, at the lowest setting. Now that I have this centered up, I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. A little bit of grease, just doesn't rain much in Vegas, but I'm gonna put some in here anyway. There's supposed to be a washer according to the directions, but a washer wasn't included, so I'll have to add one later on. Once we got it in all the way, tighten up the bolt. I don't have a wrench big enough to tighten this down, so I'll come back and tighten that down later on. Position the tire. So as you can see with this mount all the way down, it's actually pretty centered into the center cap. I'm gonna work it in as far back as we can. And take this little piece, which is soft like rubber like material. Gonna make contact with the wheel. Then you're gonna take this piece here. That's gonna thread on. Thread that right on until it makes contact with this piece. Tighten it down to your pleasure. Now I'm going to want this piece sort of oriented this way, because my plan is to use a bicycle lock that's going to come through here. A U bicycle lock come through here and be able to lock it this way. So with this on, the tire's pretty solid in there. I mean, doesn't shift back and forth much. I can probably do another turn. Another turn on this, tighten it down even more. And it's really not going to go anywhere. There's a little bit of bounce, but I would say it's pretty secure. Or I'll show you the method that I'm using to lock this in place.